Hello everyone. So in this video, we are going to discuss about a scenario where I would like to emphasize on the thing that it is not necessary to be always too much serious in your life. So this video is specifically dedicated to understanding why it is important not to be too much serious in your life. Okay. So you might have experienced sometimes if somebody has yelled at you or shouted at you, or somebody has been rude to you, or like you're very much attached to a person. Now at that point of time, their emotions or their reactions towards you influence you, influence your whole day or something like this. Like, for example, if you're in a relationship and whenever your partner is in a very good mood, you your day will be good. In comparison to this, alternatively, if the mood is not in a good phase, then that will also impact your day or impact your attitude or emotions. So why this happens and how we can actually avoid this, what is a practical method how we can actually take things very lightly, and we will also discuss what are the things that we should take lightly and what are the things we should not take lightly. Okay. So yeah. So moving forward, when I'm saying it's not required to be too serious in your life, like somebody has yelled at you and for about a week ago, and that part of recording is playing in your mind constantly. The more you're trying to remove that from your mind, the more you're trying to specify in your mind that this should not play in my mind, that recording is playing on a repeat mode in your mind. Like you had a fight with someone very close to you whom you are very attached to, and you're trying to keep your mind at peace just by avoiding that situation, that by avoiding that memory of yours, but that is constantly playing in your mind in a repeat mode. So how we can actually tackle this, and why it is important to take the things which happen to us in not so serious way. Like, so to specify this, like somebody has yelled to us or somebody has been rude to us. Now, first of all, understanding it in a practical way. Everybody's information and data inside the mind is very limited. Like, so first of all, I would like to mention that everybody's mind behaves in a similar way, the same way, not in a similar way, but in the same way. Like, everybody's mind's center point is a desire or a fear. Whatever actions we are doing are totally based upon our desire of fear. Whenever we can connect the dots, like for example, think of the last think of the last thought you have seen. For example, you have been scrolling through a Facebook and you immediately come across a very glamorous piece of dress, and you are instantly attracted by it. So it is actually being triggered by your desire. If you're being very passionate that you wanted to look very good just because the people will adore you, or you will get more attention. So this is a desire through which you are constantly attracted by any Facebook post or any Instagram post that is highlighting that thing. Like for example, in case of boys, if they're passionate about watches, so any brand which is, if they come across any watch which is branded or something like this, they will be instantly attracted towards that, just because they might have a desire to showcase themselves in a better way. So yeah. So every mind behaves or acts in a same way. Okay. The mind and body behaves in a same way. And mind behaves or acts according to the data which is fed inside the mind. Like, whatever the conditioning is being done, whatever the data has been set into your mind, the mind will act accordingly. Okay. So whenever a person is rude to me or rude to someone else, first of all, try to understand, is their data limited? If yes, if the data is and information is limited, if yes, then there's no point of focusing on what that person is saying, because if data is limited, so whatever the output is coming out of that will also be very limited for sure. Like for example, I am just I'm taking an example just to elaborate this. Like my favorite like I'm very good in biology, I have a deep understanding of biology. Now, if I am talking anything related to biology, even though I am very passionate about it, but still my knowledge and my data will be limited. Okay. So whatever I'm saying, it's not very much sure that it's 100% true. And if you can even focus on this, that facts change with time. Like for example, there was a time when people used to believe the earth was flat, but now we know that earth is earth is round. So like, so the data and facts changes according to the time and according to the inventions which are being done. um so if in my mind, for example, I'm a person from earth, and in my mind it is being said that earth is flat, that earth is round, right? And someone else from some other planet, or some just for example, if some alien comes and it has okay, so I guess this is not a better example. I would take an example of like okay, so let's taking one more example. Just avoid, just please ignore the previous one. I guess I was not able to explain it completely. I'm taking one more example. Like for example, for us, it's day in the daytime and night, and then it's in the dark it's nighttime. But for owl, it's completely opposite. In day, it's night, and in night, it's day. So if for example we can have a conversation, human beings and owls can have a conversation, then both of them, human beings and owls, will be debating on the same point. For human beings it will be a day at same point of time, and for owls it will be a night at the same point of time. Now what will you say that which one of them is correct? Okay, so this is a point which I want to highlight. The data which is collected in ourselves, in our mind, is being taken through our five senses, and our five senses are very limited. Like I'm just specifying this, I'm not sure to touch this point at this point of time. Like whatever the object or whatever things we are seeing are actually a vibration. Like this hand, this is actually a vibration which I'm touching, but I can feel it, or I can see it as a solid. So that's the limitation of senses. If I'm putting some other object here, like if we are putting an x-ray machine, we can see something completely different. So the data which is being inserted into us, through into our mind, the objects or the senses through which is being collected is very limited. The power of that is very limited. So we cannot actually rely on that data. So somebody else, for example, if somebody else is saying something to us, they are talking out of their limited data and limited senses. Similarly, if we are also, if we are also stuck on something, if we are also stuck on someone's, on some points, then we are also talking out of our limited data and limited information. So there's no point on sticking on something which is not concrete or which is not reliable yet. So hence, just wanted to focus, just wanted to highlight this point. If what we are saying or what we are acting is very much limited, is not yet concrete, then what's the point of being too serious or being too stagnant about it? Like some people, you might have seen, just I'm just taking about an example. I'm not saying vegetarian is good or non-vegetarian is good, it's just an example. Like some people are very adamant that if I'm a vegetarian then I am good, or if I'm a non-vegetarian I'm good. So there's no point of highlighting that, or there's no point of having a conflict because of that, because we never know the data which we are getting and on which we are acting is actually correct or not. Okay, so that this is the logic through which we can understand why we should not be too much serious in a life. Okay, and talking about this, just wanted, there's a trap or there's a crack on this. When I'm saying don't be too serious in your life, I actually want to say that there's certain things which we should focus on, and or we should be serious. Like for example, health cannot be taken for granted at any point of time. Like relationships, if we have a good relationships cannot be taken for granted at any point of time. So deciding our priorities, like for example, I'm just taking an example, like for example someone, we can take the three or four parameters which are important for people, like health, relationships, like being financially independent and all those things. So we can figure out what are the things which can be important for us, which are important in our lives. Then we can be serious, or we can be adamant on putting inputs to that thing. Like we should be serious about taking care of our health. We should be serious about putting efforts to our relationships, putting efforts to how we can be financially free, or how we can settle our lives, how we can make our lives more comfortable, rather than being on serious rather sorry, rather than being serious about what can be the outcome of that. Like for example, if I'm taking proper care of my health, if I'm taking a good diet, if I am exercising each and every day, then also there's no point on then also there's it is not 100% sure that I will not fall sick or fall ill at any point of time. Like for example, we have seen even in the COVID times, so even if we are trying, even if we are putting it 100%, then also we cannot expect, or we cannot be too much serious that I have done so much on my health, then how can I feel ill, how can I feel ill. Even though, so there's a category on which we should focus. What are things which should be taken seriously, and what are things which should not be taken seriously. Like saying this, that life, we should not be too much serious on a life, I don't want to mention, or I don't want to stress this thought that why do we serious? Then why should we put our efforts to make our life better? So this should not be the attitude which I am focusing. Rather than I want to focus on the attitude that I have figured my life. I know what I have to do, how I have to act. Like life is like a roller coaster. It goes ups and downs. So I know what it is going to be. In spite of that, I know what I have to put in, what efforts I have to put in, rather than whatever the results are there. Thank you so much for watching me. I hope I just try to make my point clear. Please do give me your feedback so that I can improve much better. Thank you.